Hello, and welcome to Willow Oak Books. My name is Lunar, and I'll be your storyteller today. Glad to have you with me, and I hope you enjoy the story. If you appreciate our content, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Now, on with the story. Fancy Nancy, Apples Galore. This is an I Can Read book, beginning one reading, by Jane O'Connor. Illustrations are by Ted Enoch. The cover illustration by Robin Prius Glasser. I adore autumn. Autumn is a fancy word for fall. The air is so crisp, the foliage is so colorful. Foliage means leaves on the trees. Ooh la la! Today our class is going on a trip. We are going apple picking. I hope we pick gala apples. My dad likes them the best, I tell Lionel. He is my trip buddy. A gala is a fancy party, so gala apples must be fancy. Lionel does not answer. He covers his mouth and gags. Is he carsick? Miss Glass shouts, "Stop the bus!" And then Lionel laughs and says, "It was just a joke." Miss Glass reprimands Lionel. That is a fancy way for scolding. She often has to reprimand Lionel. At last we arrive at the orchard. An orchard is a garden of trees. Each tree is loaded with apples. There are apples galore. Everybody get a basket. Remember, do not climb on the branches, Miss Glass says. There are lots of apples near the ground. I pick lots of apples. Lionel juggles apples. He is an expert juggler. All of a sudden, he stops. He drops the apples and runs around in a circle. Ow! Ow! Bees! Bees are stinging me! Miss Glass dashes over. That means she hurries to us. Lionel laughs and says, "I was just joking." That is not a funny joke, Miss Glass tells him. She reprimands Lionel some more. After that, Lionel behaves himself. We pick lots of apples. Apples galore. We pick Jonathan apples. We pick Honeycrisp apples. We do not find a tree with gala apples. Let's look over there, Lionel says, and he dashes off. I don't think we should go so far away, but trip buddies must stay together, so I dash after Lionel. Voila! Here are gala apples. There was one problem. The apples are high on branches. A ladder is by another tree, but Lionel will not help me get it. He starts climbing up the tree. Miss Glass told us not to, I remind him. Does Lionel listen? If you said no, you are right. Up he climbs. Lionel is way out on a branch. There are so many apples. Gala apples galore. Lionel shakes the branch, but the apples do not drop. He crawls out further. Be careful, I say. There is a cracking sound. The branch is breaking? Is it? Help! Help! Lionel yells. Help! Help! I yell too. Kids nearby look over and laugh. They think it's a joke. Miss Glass does not hear us. She is too far away. Can you jump, Lionel? I ask. It's too far down, he says. Then I remember the ladder. I dash over and I drag it back. It's so heavy. I perspire a lot. That's fancy for sweat. Miss Glass is at the tree now. She sees that this is no joke, and together we stand up the ladder. Lionel climbs down to safety. Crack! The branch breaks. Down come the apples. Miss Glass is very mad at Lionel. He cannot go on the hayride. He cannot help make applesauce. On the ride back, I say, "Thank you for the gala apples." I save some applesauce for Lionel. He slurps it down and burps. What a goofball. Then we each eat a gala apple. They do not look fancy, but they are very tasty. That's a fancy word for yummy. There are plenty left for Dad. Gala apples galore. Fancy Nancy has many fancy words in this story. These are the fancy words in this book. Autumn, which stood for fall. Dash, which was a fancy word for run, fast, hurry. Foliage is a fancy word for leaves that are on the trees. Gala is a fancy party and a kind of apple. Galore, it means plenty of something. Orchard is a garden of trees. Perspire is another word for sweat. And reprimand is another word for scold. Tasty is another word for yummy. And Lionel sure did get in a lot of trouble and missed out on some fun stuff. You should always obey the rules. They're there to keep you safe, especially when a teacher is with you on a field trip. The end. You can find this book and many more online in your local bookstore or waiting for you to discover at your public library. Thank you for joining me, and happy reading.